Hi everyone, welcome back to another year of Harvest of the Month. My name is Brooklyn Dreher. I am the pediatric dietitian here at Tahoe Forest Hospital. I am also one of the co-coordinators of Harvest of the Month. Um, I just want to start off by saying thank you so much for being a parent volunteer for this program. Both myself and the kids truly appreciate it, and this program wouldn't be possible without you. So again, thank you so much for being here. If you're new to the volunteer side of Harvest of the Month, welcome. We're so excited to have you. If you've done this before, again, thank you so much for your years of volunteering. These slides may look similar to ones you've seen in the past, but please stick around and watch the video. There are a couple things that have changed, and it's also a really great refresher course, especially when it comes to things like food safety, pickup spots, where to pick up, when to pick up produce. And this year we'll actually be having about a 3 to 5 question quiz at the end, just so we can kind of make sure you watch the video and make sure you understand the importance of this program, food safety, and just your understanding in general. As a friendly reminder, we also run the BFIT program. So that stands for BFIT in Tahoe. It was created by our personal trainers and athletic trainers, and this is to help kids reduce the risk of injury. So if you're at all interested in also volunteering for that program, please just reach out to us at communityhealth@tfhd.com. You can also see the email on the slide. And then there's also a QR code. If you have not completed your volunteer Google form yet, please scan the code. And if you have a hard time scanning or accessing the volunteer paperwork, again, just email us at communityhealth@tfhd.com. But this is required for you to be a volunteer. It helps us with getting your contact information, what school, classroom that you're going to be a part of. So this is our agenda for this presentation. It should take about 20 minutes. So again, just hang in there. And this goes over everything from the background of Harvest of the Month, the purpose behind it, an example calendar of what it'll be like, Tahoe Forest responsibilities, so my responsibility as the coordinator, and your responsibilities as the parent volunteer. And then at the end, if you do have any questions, feel free to email us again at the communityhealth@tfhd.com email. So this is a little bit about the background of Harvest of the Month. It was originally created by several schools in the California district as part of a broader nutrition education effort. And then over time, the California Department of Public Health actually adopted that program and it launched statewide. Harvest of the Month promotes connecting in the classroom, engagement with the kids and their peers, with parents, with the teachers. It also connects things with, say, gardening and local farming and family and community. So it's an incredible program. A lot of it is really successful because it is amongst their peers and they absolutely love having you as their parent volunteer. So again, thank you for being here. So why Harvest of the Month, or the purpose? Harvest of the Month in general helps students do better in school. It provides lessons and activities for students to be able to explore and learn and taste and use all their senses when it comes to exploring new fruits and vegetables. Especially if you're a picky eater, this can be very helpful. And it's also fun and social, hands-on, and engaging, which again is great for kids and learning. Um, Research has shown that Harvest of the Month does help students perform better in school. Studies show that eating a diet that is nutrient rich, that comes from things like fruits and vegetables, can lead to things like increased concentration, improved math, reading, and writing skills, as well as higher test scores. And it also decreases disruptive behaviors and having sick days. helps with immunity boost. So these are all really important in the purpose for Harvest of the Month. Let's move on. Okay, so this is a sample of our Harvest of the Month tasting calendar for a year. This is something we had done in previous years. It will not look like this year, but just so you get an idea of what it looks like. If you want the updated tasting calendar, you can go to our website using this QR code. It's also on the Tahoe Forest Hospital website. It's a little bit challenging to get to, so we just give you a QR code so you can get access to it right away. So we have about 7 tastings in the year. Usually we have no tastings in December since it's such a busy month with holiday season, but we will have an October tasting, November, a break in December, and then January through May, we will have tastings. Okay, so our responsibilities from Tahoe Forest as coordinators. So we order the produce and we organize it to each classroom. Each classroom bag will have a label with your teacher's name on it. After sorting the produce, we will deliver it to your school by 1 p.m. on the Monday of the Harvest of the Month week. We will go over again what the calendar will look like in our emails that you'll be getting out. So again, that's why it's so important to fill out that Google form for volunteers so that we have your contact information. During the Harvest of the Month season, we'll send you 2 or 3 email reminders. So the first email will be the week before Harvest of the Month week, and that will include all the education materials and website links. The second email will be sent on that Monday to confirm that the produce has been delivered. And then if your bag is still at the school by Tuesday, we will send out a third reminder for whoever's classroom it is so that the volunteer can pick it up. If your bag is for somehow like missing or you can't find your teacher's name, please reach out to us at communityhealth@tfhd.com. Sometimes it happens where someone grabs the wrong bag, but we will make sure to get you the produce that you need for that week. And if anything else goes wrong, again, you have our email, so just let us know. In addition, we do work with the school, like food service, to promote monthly fruits and vegetables in the cafeteria, again, so that the kids are more engaged in that Harvest of the Month. These are some examples of our education sheets. So we'll have everything from a family newsletter, educator letters, so it'll have things like fun facts on it, botany of the fruit or vegetable, engaging questions. It'll all be on our website. So again, if you scan that QR code, you'll be able to find all the resources you need. But we will also email it to you, and we will have printed copies at the school when you pick up the bag. Okay, so your responsibilities as the Harvest of the Month parent volunteer. If there are multiple volunteers in a classroom, you guys will coordinate to see who does what tastings each month, and you'll coordinate with the classroom teacher as well. Ideally, by the first week of October, this should be finalized. So definitely get together and communicate with whatever parents are volunteering within the classroom. Check with your teacher, see if there are any food allergies in the classroom. We will be going over food allergies in a lot more detail in a later slide, but definitely talk to your teacher about that, just so we reduce the risk of activating someone's food allergies. And then the week before Harvest of the Month, coordinate a time and a date with your teacher on when you will be doing the tastings and lessons. Typically, the tastings and lessons are about anywhere from 20, maybe tops 30 minutes. So again, this is something you can coordinate with your classroom teacher on. And you can make it as fun and engaging as you'd like. We can talk about examples, and we do have sample recipes on the Harvest of the Month website that you can look at. if you're unsure how to prepare or present that harvest of the month fruit or vegetable. And then the last thing I wanted to remind you is please check your emails frequently. We do send them out if anything changes. For example, one year we did have to change the produce due to a shortage or seasonal issues. Again, that's why it's so important to check your email. Okay, so it's Harvest of the Month week, and it's Monday. So this is kind of a to-do list. The first thing you're going to do on Monday is pick up your produce. Check your email, make sure it's been delivered. We usually deliver the bags no later than 1 p.m. Sometimes they are delivered a little bit sooner, but ideally pickup time is around 1 in the afternoon or later on Monday. Again, if you don't pick it up by the end of Monday and your bag is still there on Tuesday, we will send out a reminder email to please pick up your bag. These are examples of like the pickup locations. They may change depending on the school. So again, coordinate that with the front office at your school if you can't or have a hard time locating your bag. And then again, if you don't see your Harvest of the Month bag with your teacher's name on it, someone might have accidentally picked up the wrong bag, and that's fine. Just email us at communityhealth@tfhd.com, and we're happy to help you get the bag that you need to do your tasting. Okay, so produce pickup. Again, pick up the bag with your teacher's label on it. You can either bring your own bag and just toss it in there and just leave the Tahoe Forest provided bag, or you can take our Tahoe Forest bag home with you. We just ask that by the next week you return the bag to the big canvas bag that we have available. So please, if you can, just return our bags by the following Monday because we do pick up the bags on Monday. And then make sure to grab your educator packet that has everything from, fun facts about the produce, engaging questions, history of the produce. We also have fun stickers for the kids for all the classrooms. So just pick those up on your way out. And then the last thing to do is to mark off that you picked up the bag just by checking it off with your teacher's classroom name. Okay, so when you're preparing the tasting for Harvest of the Month, there's obviously different ways you can do it. We have example recipes online. We do ask that you kind of limit the amount of added things like salts and sugars to the produce and try to keep it as the main ingredient in any of the recipes. Something that we really have to focus on though is food allergies to make sure it's safe to give to the children in the classroom. So I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I did want to just show you a slide or an example of where you can find allergens on a food label. So if you see at the bottom right corner of the slide, this one's circled saying it contains wheat ingredients, and then below that it'll say made on shared equipment that also produces milk and soy. So that those are higher risk for activating someone's food allergies that may have like a gluten allergy or a milk or soy allergy. So it's just good to be able to look for that. You can also go through the ingredients list, but with the top 9 food allergens, which is listed on that wheel, so things like milk, eggs, fish, shellfish, peanuts, tree nuts, wheat, soy, and sesame. Those are the 9 food allergens or the main 9 food allergens, and they will always be labeled on the food labels as required by the FDA. So if you have any questions or concerns about how to read a food label or trying to prevent or reduce the risk of activating a food allergy, I did include a link on here from the FDA or the Food Drug Administration that you can watch. And I'll give you guys a second if you wanted to just either snap a picture of this website link or look it up. But it is really important to kind of make sure that we are being cautious with food allergies. The other thing to consider is the safety and prep of the food. So first things first is just wash your hands. That's the most important first step, is make sure you wash your hands with warm soapy water for at least 20 seconds. Another way you can think of it is if you sing happy birthday at a moderate pace for 2 rounds, that's about 20 seconds. Again, warm soapy water, making sure you're getting all the fingers and in the crevices, just to reduce the risk of foodborne pathogens on food and bacteria. The next thing you're going to do is clean the produce. So you don't need any fancy like produce spray, just cold water, rinsing it off, and then patting dry usually does really well. If you have things like a melon or something with tougher skin, you can give it an extra like rinse down and rub down just to make sure that we're getting off any contaminants on there. And then if you are cutting the fruit or vegetable on a cutting board, it's recommended to have 4 cutting boards in the household, or at least 2 that you use different front and back sides on for things like red meats, poultry, fish, and produce. They should all be different and use them on different cutting boards. And this is to reduce the risk of cross-contamination because different foods cook at different temperatures to kill off bacteria. So, for example, chicken, so using a chicken or a poultry product, they need to be heated till at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit to kill off that dangerous bacteria, whereas fruits and vegetables can either be eaten raw or cooked, but usually we don't cook as high as 165 degrees Fahrenheit for a lot of fruits and vegetables. So again, there's that risk of cross-contamination if we prepare it on the same cutting board as something, say, with poultry or red meats or even fish. And then as far as chilling, so if you do cook something or prepare something, or just in general, if it's overnight and you prepped it, please put it in the fridge. Bacteria will start to grow within 2 hours of being outside an environment of 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So we really want to make sure to keep our food safe for the kids, so we reduce the chance of foodborne illnesses. And then if you have any additional questions or are still unsure about any food safety, you can email us at communityhealth@tfhd.com, and we're happy to answer any questions that you have. Okay, next was the Harvest of the Month education. So like we said earlier, you'll be getting an education packet, and this kind of gives you a guide on the fruit or vegetable of the month. It goes over everything from history, botanical facts, cooking in the class, comparing different textures and smells and using our senses. And then sometimes we do have a Harvest of the Month book, so like a kid's book that's featured around that fruit or vegetable of the month. We don't always have it every month, so if you are interested in that, just either email us or check the front office to see if it's available, but we will have it if available. And this you can also find on our Harvest of the Month website. We'll have the QR code available, like I said earlier in the slides, and you can just roll back to them if you need it. Okay, so it's tasting day, my favorite. Bring your tasting, your education packet, and your stickers to the classroom. Again, have the teacher determine what's the best seating arrangement and the length of time. Typically, it's between 20 to 30 minutes. And most importantly, please have fun. The kids love it when they get guest volunteers to come in, especially familiar parent volunteers. They really do seem to love this program, even if they're like the pickiest of eaters and don't want to try the fruit or vegetable, it's still a fun, engaging way to even watch their peers or learn about the fruit or vegetable or use other senses such as sight and sound to just experience the food. So sometimes it's more than just tasting it. If you have any, other, recipe ideas or things you want to incorporate, great. We encourage you to be creative with this opportunity when it comes to Harvest of the Month volunteering and bringing tastings in. If you're not sure if it's something that we would recommend, like nutritionally for the kids, you can always just reach out to us and email us, and I can let you know if it's something that we would maybe recommend or not, depending on added sugars, for instance, or added salt, things like that, or high amounts of salt. Okay, so that's about it. If you are a part of Kings Beach, they do have a Charlie cart in the classroom. We encourage, if you want to use that and do some cooking demos with the kids, if you're feeling up to it, not a problem if you don't. But if that's something that interests you, just reach out to Kings Beach and they can point you in the right direction for that. This training is available on our website, obviously, and if you ever need to review it again, it'll be there for you, especially if you need to use any of the QR codes or anything like that. And again, if you have any other questions or any comments or things you'd like done differently or creative ideas about Harvest of the Month, please let us know. We love to hear the feedback, just to continue to make this program as fun and engaging as possible. Again, all volunteers need to complete this form to be able to be a volunteer for Harvest of the Month. So if you haven't already, just scan that QR code. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Thank you so much again for being parent volunteers. I said it before and I'll say it again, is we can't do this without you. You are such a big help and the kids absolutely love it. So, and we love hearing back from them too about what a great job you guys did. So thank you again and reach out to us if you have any questions. Bye.